Chapter 1. Review of the Basics from First Book. Thousands have been cheering the iconic monarch butterflies on their migration trips for several years, and many more thousand will join this year to cheer them on again. Why do they deserve such devotion? If you read our first book, Monarch Butterfly 101, Learn About Monarch Butterflies in One Sitting, you may remember what some reasons are. But if you didn't read it and are not familiar with why they deserve to be cheered, keep on reading. Number 1. Why monarch butterflies are special. Some scientists and organizations want the monarch butterflies to be considered for the endangered species list. Even though butterflies do not do as much pollination as the bees, they are becoming more important the more the bee population dwindles. Not everyone will think the monarchs are more special than other butterflies, but seeing them up close and watching them do their job is truly a treat. People are also touched by the monarch more so than any other butterfly because of its strength and stamina during their migration journey. The monarch butterflies are also special for many other reasons, such as they have an economic value due to people wanting to travel to California and/or Mexico to see them wintering by the millions. There are 7 states that have made the monarch their official state butterfly: Alabama, Idaho, Illinois, Minnesota, Texas, Vermont, and West Virginia. Millions of children in classrooms across the nation have watched the caterpillars change into butterflies. The monarchs have lived on the International Space Station to take part in studies. Science uses the monarchs more than other butterflies in several studies. Not all reasons were in the first book of why pollination by monarchs is important to science. Here are some of the reasons stated before, with additional reasons why monarchs are important, backed up by science. References are at the end of the book. Pollination is needed for all plants, and without plants, we have no oxygen. Pollination gives us 1 out of 3 bites of food that we eat every day. Many of our favorite foods would be gone without pollination. Out of 1,400 crop plants grown in the world, almost 80% require pollination. Pollination of crops is valued in the U.S. at $10 billion annually. The global value is more than $3 trillion. Harming the pollinators and their habitat causes us to keep harming ourselves. Even though the monarch is the most recognized butterfly, you still may not be convinced as to why there's been such a fuss about them or why we need them as pollinators. A good way to hear and see their story is to watch the videos at https://www.wildcenter.org/science/allaboutmonarchs2/. Number 2. The metamorphosis. Metamorphosis means transformation from an immature form to an adult form, and the butterfly is a magician at it. It takes about a month, 4 stages, and 28 to 38 days for a monarch to transform from an egg to a butterfly. The 4 stages are the egg, larva or caterpillar, pupa or chrysalis, and the adult butterfly. To see a video of the process, go to youtube.com and search for. Number 3. The monarch habitat. The monarch butterfly lives throughout the United States, southern Canada, and down as far as South America. They live in different parts of the country depending on what time of the year it is and what generation they are within the 4 generations per year. They thrive in warmer climate and will die in colder climate, which is exactly why they migrate. Their main sources of food for the adult monarch are nectar from flowers, softened or rotten fruits, and they will even eat animal dung. To get minerals, they will drink dirty or muddy water. The caterpillars will only eat milkweed plants after the eggs hatch, where the female lays them up to 300 in a season. Due to the decline in the milkweed plants, they have a difficult time reproducing. Number 4. The monarch migration. The monarch migration is a massive movement of butterflies, has been referred to as one of the most spectacular natural phenomena in the world. The monarchs are the only butterfly that migrate as far as they do and for as long. The ones that live in Canada, the eastern and midwestern states migrate to the oyamel fir forests of Mexico, and the ones that live in the western states migrate to the coast of California. There are a few monarchs that migrate to areas in Arizona, northern Florida, and Cuba. Some monarch species in Australia and New Zealand migrate shorter distances, and there are some that do not migrate at all, such as in Florida, Central and South American, and the Caribbean. This means that some of them will fly close to 3,000 miles one way if coming from Canada to Mexico. The annual migration is considered a threatened phenomenon by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, or IUCN, which means that someday they may not be migrating long distances anymore. They don't all leave at the same time but rely on the position of the sun, temperatures dropping, and the shortening of daylight in the area that they live, as well as what can be considered electromagnetic cues from the Earth. Scientists have discovered that they have internal clocks that are located in their antenna that send signals to their brain to help them navigate. The monarchs that fly the farthest grow bigger and heavier than others. For some reason, there is the belief that there is more than just one generation of the monarch that migrates to Mexico or California and then returns to the same place again in spring. Perhaps it is because there are so many that go. However that myth started, it isn't true. Rather, it is the autumn generation that is genetically built to make the trip with larger and stronger wings, etc. Then, after 8 months of wintering in the south, they mate on the way back and the female lay eggs along the way, and then they return so that the next generation carries on while the autumn generation dies off. You can watch a video that tells about the migration at https://www.wildcenter.org/science/allaboutmonarchs2. Number 5. Habits or instincts of the monarch. The monarch butterflies have several unique habits, but their habits are not learned like ours. Their habits are built in because of instinct and rarely change. Listed below are the most common habits or instincts of the monarch butterfly, with some additions to the ones listed in our first book. The main source of food for the adult butterfly is nectar from flowers and juice from fruits, which they drink through a straw-like mouthpiece called a proboscis. The main source of food for the caterpillar is the milkweed plant leaves. The adult butterflies drink water from mud puddles that is rich in minerals. The caterpillars get water from the moisture on the milkweed plants. The female adult butterflies lay eggs one at a time on milkweed plant leaves. The generation that is born in the fall doesn't have a sex drive until after wintering. Essentially, the caterpillar is made to eat and the adult is made to mate. The adults have a great sense of smell, taste with their feet, and can see more colors than humans and can see the UV light. They don't have ears but use sense to communicate for mating, plus they can sense vibrations and will come to the aid of each other when trapped. Monarchs fly from 4 to 12 miles an hour and up to 25 miles an hour with the wind. They flap their wings about 5 to 12 times a second, or about 300 to 720 times a minute, which is slower than many other butterflies. They can still fly if over half of their wing area is missing. Number 6. Why are the monarchs disappearing? The main reasons for the decrease in the monarch butterfly populations are as follows. The agricultural use of glyphosate kills milkweed plants that caterpillars eat. Caterpillars also die from airborne herbicides. Habitat being destroyed from urban development. Climate or global warming forces changes in migration patterns and weather. Unnecessary mowing along highways killing off milkweeds and wildflowers. The illegal logging in Mexico caused weather changes or lack of wintering trees. Increase of monarch diseases, parasites, and predators. Number 7. Is there hope in saving the monarch? There is hope, and the following U.S. organizations were listed in the first book that are involved with researching or something else in regards to saving the monarch butterflies. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Center of Biological Diversity, Monarch Joint Venture Partnerships, National Resources Conservation Services, University of Minnesota Monarch Lab, President Obama's Butterfly Highway, Oklahoma Native Americans, Jerry Garcia Foundation, the Iowa Monarch Conservation Consortium. There are many more foundations or organizations that are helping the monarchs that were not listed in our first book, such as Great Milkweed Growout, Desert Botanical Gardens in Phoenix, Arizona, Save Our Monarchs, www.saveourmonarchs.org, National Wildlife Federation, www.nwf.org, The Monarch Watch, www.monarchwatch.org, Monarch Monitoring Project, the Western Monarch Migration Project, North American Monarch Conservation Plan, or NAMCP, U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA Forest Service, Monarch Butterfly Fund, Conserving the Migration, Delaware Nature Society, supporting pollinators. Number 8, ways to help the monarch. There have been additions to the list that was in the first book. Here are 10 of the most important ways you can help the monarch butterfly. More details are given throughout this book. 1. Don't use chemical pesticides. Use natural ones such as lemon eucalyptus. Avoid GMO or genetically engineered foods, buy organic, grass-fed meats, shop at local farmers markets, avoid processed foods. 3. Purchase seeds, plants from stores, supplies that sell pollinator-friendly plants and seeds that are suited to your area. 4. Preserve monarch habitat by planting milkweed or by not cutting it down. 5. Build a way station or turn your flower garden into a way station. Put up way station signs and get certified. www.monarchwatch.org. 6. Learn more about your environment and find ways to fight climate change or global warming, such as reduce, reuse, and recycle. 7. Be aware of where the wood is from that you buy for building and that your furniture is made from. Use products from the Forest Stewardship Council, or FSC, certified wood, which comes from FSC certified forest or from post-consumer waste. 8. Contribute to or raise funds to contribute to a monarch conservation foundation. 9. Encourage local schools to participate by becoming an eco-school. https://www.nwf.org/ecoschoolsusa/become-an-eco-school-aspx. 10. Spread the word by educating everyone on protecting the monarchs and their pollinators and by being a good example. www.saveourmonarchs.org. Number 9. Culture, meanings, and beliefs about butterflies. In our first book, it mentioned that butterflies have had the personal meaning of being a symbol of change, joy, and freedom for many others. This is true of not just the monarch, but all butterflies. The common culture belief that the butterfly represents the soul is common mostly because the Greek word for soul is psyche, and the butterfly was given the name Psyche. Till this day, butterflies can represent transformation for many people, and different cultures view them in similar ways, but other cultures different ways. Here are a few examples. Mexico. The butterflies are believed to be the spirits of their deceased loved ones returning from the dead on the Day of the Dead holiday. Details in number 64. Ireland. An old belief is that a butterfly is a soul waiting to pass through purgatory. Egypt. Since religious beliefs there are of immortality of the soul, butterflies are presumed to be a pleasure to look forward to in the afterlife. Native Americans. A legend of many tribes is that if you want to have a wish come true, you need to whisper the wish into a butterfly's antenna, and the butterfly will take the wish to a great spirit to be granted. Germany. Due to butterflies hovering over butter churns and milk pails, they are said to be thieves or witches in disguise. Japan. Butterflies are believed to represent young women who believe that being married is the ultimate blessing. There are cultures that believe butterflies are the souls of unborn children, and others believe butterflies take on the souls of the people who are headed for hell. Number 10. Places for a close-up view of monarchs. There are museums, exhibits, and conservatories across the nation and around the world to see live monarchs. The ones from our first book are listed below, as well as additional ones. Huntsville Botanical Garden, Purdy Butterfly House, Huntsville, Alabama. The Butterfly Wonderland, Scottsdale, Arizona. Natural History Museum, the Butterfly Pavilion, Los Angeles, California. BioWorks Butterfly Garden, Tampa, Florida. The Butterfly World, Coconut Creek, Florida. The Key West Butterfly and Nature Conservatory, Key West, Florida. Chicago Academy of Sciences Nature Museum, Chicago, Illinois. Monarch Tagging at Botanica, Wichita, Wichita, Kansas. Audubon Nature Institute, New Orleans, Louisiana. Original Mackinac Island Butterfly House, Mackinac Island, Michigan. Blooming Butterflies, Como Park Zoo, St. Paul, Minnesota. The Butterfly Conservatory, New York, New York. Butterfly House and Aquarium, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Native Texas Butterfly Garden and House, McKinney, Texas. Monarch Fest, San Antonio Zoo, San Antonio, Texas. Butterfly House, Beaver Creek Reserved, Fall Creek, Wisconsin. Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, Live Butterflies, Washington, D.C. There are other places in just about every state that can be found on the internet. However, many are seasonal, so be sure to check their website for details. This is the end of the section that contains the basic found in our first book, Monarch Butterfly 101. Learn about monarch butterflies in one sitting. We hope this just whets your appetite to learn more about the monarch butterfly, because there is so much more to know. The next 9 chapters are broken down into categories of 10 reasons, each to describe an amazing 101 reasons to cheer for our favorite butterfly, the monarch butterfly.